Okay, let's dive into this, because what started as a simple debate over in-flight Wi-Fi has just completely blown up into a public war of words. And we're not talking about just anyone here. You've got two of the business world's most outspoken and powerful figures going head to head. Yeah, this is a story about tech, travel, and let's be honest, two absolutely massive egos on a collision course. And it all came to a head with this one kind of shocking question, just posted out there for the whole world to see. So, how on earth did a simple disagreement about internet on a plane escalate into a potential multi-billion-dollar takeover threat? Well, to really get that, you first need to get to know the two titans at the very center of this storm. So let's break down who we're actually dealing with here. In one corner, you've got this tech visionary who's literally aiming to connect the entire world from space. And in the other corner, the undisputed king of budget air travel in Europe. Okay, so first up, we've got Michael O'Leary. This is the guy who for over 30 years has built Ryanair into this absolute low-cost giant. I mean, he totally changed the way people fly in Europe. He's legendary for his, let's call them colorful comments, and his very no-nonsense style. Then, of course, you've got Elon Musk, the world's richest person, a name everyone knows, behind these world-changing companies like Tesla and SpaceX. And he's just as famous for his huge, ambitious projects as he is for his completely unfiltered and, yeah, often controversial presence on social media. So what was the spark that lit this fire? It wasn't politics, it wasn't some old personal rivalry. Nope. It all came down to the simple dollars and cents of putting satellite internet on a plane flying at 30,000 feet. The whole saga really kicked off when Michael O'Leary was on a podcast. He got asked about using Musk's high-speed Starlink internet service on his huge fleet. We're talking over 600 planes. And his answer? It was a very, very clear and very public no. And O'Leary, he didn't just say no, he laid out his whole business case against it, right? From his point of view, the annual cost was just way too high. He said the antenna you'd have to stick on the outside of the plane would add weight and drag, which means higher fuel costs. Plus, he's convinced his customers, who are mostly on these short 1 or 2 hour flights, they just won't pay extra for Wi-Fi. And then he capped it all off by claiming Musk knows, and I quote, zero about how flights and drag actually work. And to put a real number on it, O'Leary estimated it would cost Ryanair somewhere between $200 and $250 million every single year, just in extra fuel. For a low-cost airline like Ryanair, where literally every single penny counts, that's just a complete non-starter. End of story. Well, as you can probably imagine, Musk saw things a little differently. He jumped on his platform, X, and straight up called O'Leary misinformed. He argued that his Starlink tech is so advanced it would actually create efficiency gains, not losses. And right here, this is the moment a straightforward business disagreement really started to get personal. Okay, so the battle lines were drawn. The whole argument just spills out into the open on social media. And what happens next? Well, it turns a pretty standard corporate debate into a full-blown public feud. And it happened fast. We're talking a matter of days. And the speed of this escalation was just incredible. I mean, look at this timeline. On Wednesday, O'Leary makes his comments on the podcast. By Thursday, a clip is online and he's doubling down. Friday, Musk fires back. And by the following Monday, we're suddenly talking about a potential corporate takeover. The whole thing blew up in less than a week. Okay. This was it. This was the comment that really lit the fuse. When that podcast clip hit the internet on Thursday, this quote from O'Leary just went everywhere. I mean, calling Elon Musk an idiot in a public forum like that? Yeah, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a reaction. And that reaction came, and it came fast. The very next day, Musk responds directly to that video clip on X. He ups the ante, calling O'Leary an utter idiot, and then he adds this simple, kind of brutal command. Fire him. But this is where the whole situation took a really crucial turn. Another user on X jumps into the conversation right after Musk's comment. They basically suggested, hey, why don't you just buy Ryanair and fire the guy yourself? And Musk's response? A simple 2-word reply that changed the entire game. Good idea. So what started as just this casual suggestion, it quickly turned into a massive public spectacle. Because Musk didn't just let that idea hang in the air. Oh, no. He turned the whole takeover threat into a public poll for his millions of followers to vote on. So come Monday morning, Musk makes it official. He pins this poll right to his profile. He asks his followers straight up, should I buy the airline? And then he adds this sort of half-joking twist about who he might put in charge next. And the public response was just overwhelming. in a poll that got over 300,000 votes in just a few hours, a staggering 79% of people voted yes, basically giving him a massive green light to make a move on the airline. Okay, so in the real world, what would this actually mean? How would it work? Well, Ryanair is a publicly traded company, and Michael O'Leary would obviously fight this tooth and nail. So Musk couldn't just walk in and buy it. He'd have to try what's called a hostile takeover, basically going over management's head and trying to buy up enough stock directly from the shareholders to seize control. But this whole very personal feud, it actually shines a light on some major shifts that are happening right now in business, in tech, and in how we all communicate. This is about way more than just two powerful guys arguing online.
Yeah, this isn't just about two egos clashing. What this really shows us is a new reality. A reality where these huge corporate battles are now fought in real time, right out in the open on social media. It shows us that the personal brands of these big-name CEOs can directly drive corporate strategy, even spark a takeover bid. And the whole argument also reminds us just how important in-flight Wi-Fi has become. I mean, dozens of other major airlines, we're talking Emirates, Qatar, Lufthansa, they are all already signing up for the exact same Starlink service that Ryanair said no to. And so, at the end of the day, it leaves us with this one big, fascinating question. Are we just watching a crazy, temporary spectacle here? A one-off clash between two larger-than-life personalities? Or is this the new playbook? Is this the blueprint for how major business battles are going to be fought in the future, out in public, driven by personality, and maybe even decided by a poll? The answer to that? Well, it could reshape the entire corporate world as we know it.